Alright guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing good. Whew, that sun's bright, so bear with me. Hope the lighting's pretty good and everything for you. Gonna be going over the Sebastian Rogers case. A lot of stuff going on. Well, a little bit of stuff's going on, and I just figured I'd give you my thoughts, and then at the end of the video you can give me your thoughts, and we'll see how this goes. So you know, a lot of people are saying, you know, when Seth decided to, you know, work with Chris and Katie Proudfoot, you know, they were saying, you know, keep your enemies closer, let them talk, this and that. But I'll be honest with you. If you know, if Chris and Katie have something to do with Sebastian's disappearance, we'll just say Sebastian is dead. You know, life in prison is going to keep anyone from talking. So I'll just say that. You know, perfect example. Summerwell's case. Dawn and Candace. You know, they've obviously been talking for 3 years now, but they're just not talking about the right stuff. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, if Chris and Katie Proudfoot, you know, are responsible for whatever happened to Sebastian, yeah, they'll talk or whatever, but they're not going to talk about anything that's going to incriminate them. And that's what I feel on that. And I was listening to a news piece the other day, and it said that police say there are no viable leads. So, in my opinion, the buck stops with Katie. I think that we should continue to look at Katie, look at the house. I mean, something happened that night into the early morning hours, and we need to stay focused on Katie, and we need to stay focused on that house and what happened late that night into the early morning hours, because that right there is where the answers lie for what happened to Sebastian Rogers. You know, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, you know, stuff come out. I mean, right now, you know, you've got, we'll talk about it in a second, but another thing I want to talk about. Just like the Summerwell's case, and a couple other cases, it seems like in Sebastian's life, there has been a lot of, well, CPS involvement. So you have all this CPS involvement, and then the child goes missing. You know, that being said, I hope for a good outcome. Don't get me wrong, I hope for a real good outcome. But with CPS being involved in all these child cases, and then the child goes missing, and then that it just doesn't end well. It hasn't ended well in a lot of these cases. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. That's another thing that, you know, I got to thinking about. And again, I really want to focus on Katie Proudfoot, because she is, you know, as far as we know, she is the last physical person to see Sebastian, and it was in that house, according to Katie Proudfoot. So I want to know more about Katie Proudfoot. I know we're hearing a lot about Seth. We're hearing a lot about Chris. But like I said, you know, if I were an investigator investigating this case, my main focus is going to be, you know, and based off, you know, I guess I'm investigating it on YouTube, but I mean, my main focus is on the house and Katie Proudfoot, because there's no, like the police said, there's no viable leads. So to me, the buck stops with Katie in that house. So I want to know more about Katie Proudfoot. I want to know more about Katie's relationship with Sebastian, especially like probably the last few weeks, months, you know, leading up to his disappearance. We've heard about Seth and Chris. You know, is there any, you know, neglect or abuse allegations, chatter, anything like that against Katie? You know what I mean? Has people seen or heard Katie being mean to Sebastian? Has anybody heard Katie, or anybody seen Katie, you know, abusing Sebastian? My focus right now is on Katie in that house. That's what my main focus is on right now. You know, Seth come out, I think, with Vinny on Court TV and said it, and I've been preaching this, guys. I've been preaching it. Said they need to get a spokesperson, someone that can speak professionally for them. Seth says that he does have that, but I yet to see this person doing interviews and everything. Again, you know, if there's going to be a lot of TV interviews, podcast interviews, you know, this and that, yeah, they, in my opinion, they need a spokesperson to do most of those for them, and just let them do them, you know, just here and there if they want to. But I think a lot of the circus type environment so far has been because, you know, the family doesn't have, we'll just say, you know, a professional speaking person talking for them. So Seth says that they've got a spokesperson now, so hopefully, well, I mean, that person needs, you know, that person needed to be doing interviews yesterday, in my opinion. So we'll see how all that works out. And, you know, Seth says that he's got some canine cadaver dogs, you know, all kinds of dogs to go look at things, and he's just waiting on Chris's approval to do it. I guess my opinion is, I guess he's wanting to go look at the house with them. But it being Chris and Katie's house, yeah, everybody's like, what does Seth need approval for? Well, you know, unfortunately, it's not Seth's house that he wants to go search. It's Chris and Katie's house, more likely, that he wants to take the dogs to. It's Chris and Katie's property, and Chris and Katie have ultimate say-so. Not less, you know, I mean, Seth can't get a search warrant and take them dogs over there without Chris and Katie's approval. But it would be interesting to see if, you know, if Seth was allowed to take the dogs over there on the property. It would be interesting to see if they ended up catching something that the police didn't catch. What do y'all think? I think it'd be interesting. So I guess Seth is just waiting on Chris to say, yeah, you can bring dogs over here and you know, this and that. But you know, that's where we're at right now. That I'm following right there, but my main focus right now, guys, my main focus right now is Katie Proudfoot and that house. What happened at that house? Because people just don't disappear. You know, I mean, if I was an investigator and Katie was sitting across from me, I'd be like, listen, you know, we ran the dogs. There's no sign of Sebastian. You know, there's no scent. There's no nothing. And kids just don't disappear off the face of the earth. And especially when they're safe inside their house and everything's locked up. The doors are locked, the windows are locked. So, you know, Katie helped me to understand how Sebastian could have disappeared when he was safe inside his house. You know, help me to understand that. I mean, there's Katie's got a lot of questions to answer here. She's got a lot of explaining to do. I mean, I don't know if, you know, if Chris and Katie are responsible for Sebastian's disappearance. I mean, did they not think this through? I mean, did they not think that, you know, hey, this kid was safe inside his house, everything was locked up, and we're going to have to say he just, you know, disappeared. I've been saying, well, David Copperfield came and made him disappear. So did they not think that that would look suspicious as hell? And I don't know. They just, I mean, did they not think that through? I mean, to go missing from your house in a safe environment like that, she's got some explaining to do. Something happened. So that's my focus right there, guys. Let me know if you think I'm focused in the right area. So hopefully the police will get something. But you know, if the police get anything, and like I was investigating it, I'd be talking to people that know Katie. You know, did Katie say anything out of the norm these last few weeks before Sebastian went missing? Because it you know, it seems like after he went missing, you know, they've not really responded the way most grieving people would. You know what I mean? I've not seen any tears. I don't know if they were actually motorcycle shopping or not it's just, there's a lot of weird behavior from Chris and Katie after Sebastian went missing. So I'm looking for any type of weird behavior from Katie, maybe Chris, in the weeks leading up to Sebastian's disappearance. My focus is on Katie and that house and nowhere else. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Drop some comments below, and I'll see you on the next video.